Hello, Justin. This is Paul Chek, and I wanted to take a little time out of my day to help answer some of your questions about your concerns about your father's eating habits, body weight, body shape, and what appears to you to be an overcommitment. I am empathetic to your concerns. Your concerns are legitimate, yet as much as we have our own wishes and desires for other people, and as challenging as it may be to watch people live and behave in a way that appears to be self-destructive, I would like to share a perspective with you, and that is that you should not and often cannot change another person. One of the worst things we can do to another person in a relationship is to try to change them, to try to convince them that there is something wrong with them. The ego, the sense of self, is very, very defensive when it comes to being changed by anyone other than you. So what will happen is, typically, is that you might put pressure on your father. You might tell him that he's overweight. You might tell him he's working too hard. You might tell him he's under stress. But generally what people do is interpret that either as a criticism or an attempt to alter the lifestyle that they've created for themselves, that they themselves have validated, justified, and feel is necessary. When I work with people, they are paying me to help them change, which means they are making an outright statement that they want my help to change. Yet I can assure you that any of my attempts to help my own family get healthy have been something akin to talking to a wall, and you will probably feel that way with your father too. What I have been successful at, worldwide and even with my own family, is showing people what it looks like to live the principles that I call the four doctors. What does it look like when somebody takes enough time for themselves to rest, to have time to do some spiritual practice, to read? One of the most important things we can do for ourselves is to balance what I call the essential. So your father's work and his education he feels are essential, with the non-essential. Paradoxically, especially in the West, we think the essential is everything, and therefore we poo-poo the non-essential. So what you have is business executives, people working themselves to death to try to make money to buy a bigger house and keep up with the Joneses, yet they never take time to go on vacation or to nourish themselves. And typically we only get non-essential time in the West when we get sick, because it's socially acceptable in the West to miss days from work when you're sick. You can get paid when you're sick. It's socially acceptable to break relationship agreements when you're sick, when you've got a disease, when you're in pain, because we all socially and culturally accept that that is a common means by which we must disengage, due to the fact that to go any further only increases harm. Yet paradoxically, if we were just honest with each other about our needs, and we all understood that when someone does not get their needs met, that sickness is the natural byproduct, we would not have to go to such extremes. Justin, if you really want to help your father, show him what it looks like to balance the non-essential and the essential. Show him what it looks like to eat organic food and drink clean water. Show him what it looks like to get enough movement to keep yourself healthy, but not to do so much movement that you're considered to be an exercise addict. Also show him what it looks like when you take care of your body by doing enough movement to keep it healthy. Too little is just as much of a problem as too much. Show your father what happiness looks like. He probably has no idea. He's probably so busy in the pursuit of happiness that one day he'll wake up as an old man and realize that he has missed the happiness idea altogether. Justin, show your father that happiness is not a destination. It's a process. To be happy means that you are congruent with the direction you're taking in your life. You're not divided, and that you're willing to accept life as it is, which means even though you've got your goals and objectives, and your loves and your not loves, you realize that to the degree that you take responsibility for what you create in your life, that there are always other relationships that we must deal with as well. So just like there are days when the waves are up and the surfers are all happy, there are also other days where the surfers sit for hours and wait patiently or impatiently. Yet no matter how impatient you are while you're waiting for a wave, it won't speed the rate at which the waves come, nor make them any bigger. A Taoist approach to happiness is accepting the isness of life, just being present with the flow of it. The quality of life is something that we ourselves can control through our free will, and being tuned to Dr. Diet, Dr. Quiet, Dr. Movement, and Dr. Happiness are the key modes by which we are tuned to our own inner and outer reality. Work on those simple things. They're well outlined in my book, The Last 4 Doctors You'll Ever Need, How to Get Healthy Now, as well as my book, How to Eat, Move, and Be Healthy. If you want to get your father a gift, I would suggest my audio series. It's an audio CD workbook series titled You Are What You Eat. He could listen to that in his car, driving back and forth to work and moving around, and it would give him a wealth of information from a third party. You'll probably find it easier to change people by giving them information that is provided by somebody that is perceived as an expert of some kind. Paradoxically, even though you may be a genius and you may be a world-renowned expert, because you're your father's son, his ego is most likely going to defend against any suggestions for change that you offer. It's just a natural behavior between parents and children. The best thing you can do is be the silent lover and the silent teacher. Let him see your water bottle. Let him see your rest. Let him see your beautiful skin, your lean body, and let him see, most importantly, your joy. And in your success, he will feel successful. And remember, what the monkey sees, the monkey often does. Take care, Justin.